this is meant to be fun. Let's keep it fun, keep it moving forward, and let's get everyone off to a bright, sunny Friday eve. Michael, you want to start?
Excellent. So I'm going to jump in right into the lead master.
Sure, and I was going to give you the floor first if you wanted it.
Okay, well, this is Michael Brandt with Drive Traffic Media. We're still in business, of course. Believe it or not, people are asking that a lot. So make sure you put that on your website. Make sure you put that on your social media. I hear people are actually booking some planes and trips already. So even Claudia, get out there and call some people. The deals are going away, I heard. So, I'm going to be doing a social media training coming up real soon. I've been looking at different platforms to host all my different videos and stuff, and it's going to be really great. So I'm excited about that because we are living in a virtual world now, and that's my playground. So next up, we're going to jump into, how about Matt Farron? Because we'll end up with you at the end. So go right ahead, Matt.
All right. I, too, still in business. You wouldn't believe it with all the courts being closed, but there's a lot of administrative work that needs to happen in the background. Mainly, my clients just want to know what's going on and where we are with things. I've had an unbelievable number of people ask, when are we going back to court? And the answer is some of the courts don't even know, much less when they're opening, to say nothing of when my cases will actually be heard. But I am still in business, still running forward on things. And with all the delay that's coming in right now, there's going to be a great opportunity on the back end when it all comes flooding back in. It's going to be an interesting ride. I have a feeling I'm going to get to learn how Sarah Nagel feels when she's running taxes at this typical time of year. But so far I'm doing well, staying sane for the most part, or at least doing my best to. And have a lovely cup of coffee with some chocolate and heavy cream. It's a great way to start the morning.
Excellent. Next up, we have Armin, and right after that, we're going to have the riddles. And go right ahead, Armin.
Armin's still muted.
Armin, you're muted.
Unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm glad that I see your beautiful faces every morning. Randy Emery, good morning. Mortgage industry is going through fast changes, and people don't understand right now what's going on. They hear all these advertising in the background that applies only to low balance mortgages, but jumbo mortgages and high balance mortgages are basically kind of going away, or they're getting extremely cautious about it. And the difference between the front end and the back end, what people don't understand and expect, and what's happening in the back end, it's kind of creating a little bit of a difficulty for me right now. But all in all, I'm busy. It's just 100% referral businesses, and I'm fully active. I'm pretty much working from 7 to probably 6, every day. So, but it's getting very choppy, very, very choppy, on the mortgage side. But thank God everybody's in good health. I'm pretty much stuck here in my office every day. Try to lock myself away from wife and the kids. But all in all, everything is good, and glad to see you guys. Thank you.
Okay, next up is ASAP Appliance, and right after that, we're going to have Charlie Bott.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Business has been busy again, so we're looking pretty good. Gets a little choppy here and there. The phone will ring and get very busy, and then one day might be a little dead, but I'm staying out there working full time, so that's the good news. Things continue to break even in the virus stage. And Charlene changed our website, put open. I think that picked up a little business too. People didn't realize.
Not our website, but I followed your recommendations, Michael. Updated Facebook, Yelp. I'm working on it all, so I'm hoping the virus go away before I have to change our website, but we'll see. I don't know. And I've been trying to look at the silver linings. I'm a silver linings person, and I love that I'm actually able to be a silver lining and be in these meetings with you. So
Thank you. So next up we have Charles Bott, and then right after it'll be Claudia.
It's back, I think.
Now you can you hear me now? Yeah.
We can hear you.
Well, it's good to see everybody. I'm technically incompetent, so I haven't been able to get on the last couple of times, and I finally got help the other day, and here I am. The insurance industry is, of course, it's going. About 4 weeks ago, Allstate made the great announcement they're refunding $600 million to their policyholders because people aren't driving like they. And actuarially, it probably makes sense. I got 1 million phone calls on it. And what's State Farm going to do? What's State Farm going to do? And I said, I don't know, but I know they'll do something.
Oh, good.
And about a week or so ago on a Friday, they announced $2 billion with a B, refund to policyholders.
Yeah.
And it'll be in the form of a dividend. It's not going to be a check in the mail because there's costs in postage and they want to avoid that. So what they're going to wind up doing is going to your premium, and I think they're going to do this in May. They'll simply reduce your premium by, I think it's 25, 26% around this area. So if your premium is $600, it'll be reduced by that amount of money, 25% or so, and that'll be that. They're also working really closely, and they're doing this internally with people who are having some issues. For example, I've got some clients, I've been with them for 30 years, and they're in the hospitality business, and they have hotels around the world, over 500 hotels, 4- and 5-star hotels. And in January, their business went in the toilet. They're shutting their business down. And I didn't even know it because he's having a hard time paying his bills. The State Farm is working with individuals like that, and then they're stretching out the payment period, and they're doing as much as they can, I think, to help people. That's all you can do at this point. I go in about an hour a day. There's no one in my building except me. I sneak in. I don't even turn the exterior lights on, just my office light. I've got to get the mail and do this, that, and the other things. And Becky's at home working, and we're kind of taking turns. She's obviously a lot more adept at using a laptop than I am. I'm still learning that. So, but we're functioning. I get a lot of phone calls, and we're taking care of people, and that's all we can do at this point.
Excellent. Thank you, Charlie. And next up we have Claudia. Right after it'll be Cliff Miller.
Sorry. Yeah, well, I don't know if anybody's felt it more than me. Hotels? Oh, yeah. What hotel? Nothing's open. People are scared to travel, and I'm convinced that it's a bad flu because it's so contagious. I can't explain to people. They don't let me within 6 feet of them that they will get better. But, you know, so it's going to take me a while to get back up and running. Going to take the industry it's going to be a long time. The cruise lines have been canceled. They canceled them for 100 days. And so they'll come up maybe this fall. I have 4 cabins on a Norwegian cruise line from June 7th. Canada has canceled their ports. 60 days cancellation. My clients want to cancel, and Norwegian hasn't canceled yet. So this is my phone call I'm getting regularly. When are they going to cancel? When are they going to cancel? Well, if they cancel, they lose all their money, so they just have to wait. And but I am so grateful my office is at home.
Excellent.
I have colleagues that have offices that just had to close down and move.
Wow.
And this is the first time in my history that I've been able to claim unemployment because I'm an independent contractor. We never counted at all for any of that, except I have to wait till the 28th because they ran out of money. So I'll be get up at midnight and file my claim and see what happens. So we'll see.
So stupid question.
Life
You
is
can
good.
You can chat her directly.
Pardon me?
Next up, we have
Oh, sorry.
David. Next up, we're going to have Cliff Miller, and then right after, we'll have David Paul. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good to see you all. Top causes of divorce. Number 4, finances. Number 3, infidelity. Number 2, lack of intimacy. And number 1, thermostat wars. Anyway, so I'm doing what I can. I'm working on my overhead and still playing music a little bit here and there. Gave some guitar lessons, socially distancing. That's about it.
Are you looking for any classes online? What's your specialty? Maybe as we can all look around and see if people need.
I have put that on my Yelp. I haven't really got too much or anything, but yeah, if people want to do that, I'm definitely available for that. I'm available for any kind of work. Actually, I'm trying to get a job through a friend, and kind of in a similar boat with Claudia, as far as being an independent contractor and trying to get through this AB3 and be able to still apply for some kind of unemployment. But I'm really counting on us reopening pretty soon.
Excellent. Everyone wants to get out of their house, so we'll come
But
see.
I want the businesses to do well so we don't close our economy.
Yeah, no kidding. So next up, we have David Paul. Right after, we'll have the David Wise.
Good morning, everybody. You know who I am, David Paul, audio, video, smart home, and lately Wi-Fi. A lot of, I don't know, I wouldn't say a lot, but a handful of clients are realizing how important their internet is, and that it needs to go to all corners of the house. So everybody's not crammed into one location, the whole family, just to go where the Wi-Fi is. But I've been fortunate. The business isn't booming or anything. This is really not much of a change. Luckily, I've had some programming projects that were ongoing that are still as scheduled. So those alone will keep me through this, even though my service calls are actually lower. But I feel for everybody went from whatever to zero. So I feel fortunate that I'm not in that boat. But in general, I'm with Cliff. I'm rooting for the comeback. I just want to see, even if it's not going to be normal, I really want to see some activity. I think we're going to, atrophy if we all stay at home, even if we're trying to do a good job. So I'm staying positive. It's tough to stay positive, but like I said last week, it's work. So I'm willing to put in the work to stay positive. Hope you guys are too.
Thank you, David. Next up, we have David Iacobucci after David Wise.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody's smiling faces. I hate to, but I have to start off with some bad news. Dan texted me this morning. His mom died this morning. So anybody that might want to reach out to him, he could probably use that. She's been very sick, hasn't even been able to open her eyes in the last couple of weeks. So she's in a better place. If you guys can pray for her and family, I'd appreciate it. On to the other news. I'm legally still in business, even though I don't know if I did something illegal yesterday, but I actually met a customer, and I'm a non-essential business. So I was looking out for the police as I was meeting with her. My building is completely shut down, except you can get in if you have a key card, but they're still charging rent. So that's this to me. Jewelry is always the first thing to go and the last thing to come back, because it's really as non-essential as you can possibly get, besides the travel industry, but at least, there is business travel. I've been fortunate enough to be able to keep my clients. I can do some appraisals online. Just more of the boring part, which is the worst part of it. My wife is, she's one of the medical people that go into work every day. And I just want to give you a quick update from Johns Hopkins. That's really, if you want to get real news, that's where you go. Don't go to the news stations. Don't go to anywhere else. Go directly to Johns Hopkins. They're the ones that are making all the decisions right now. The flu, the epidemic is about 40% better than they thought it was going to be. They've had 3 deaths in Saddleback Hospital. Normal year, they have 8 deaths at Saddleback Hospital this time of year, so they're doing real well. The shutdown has helped a lot of people. They're working out of it now. Orange County is opening their beaches and stuff this weekend. No parking lots, but you're able to go to any of the beaches and parks that you want to now. Just be careful. That what they're telling everybody is if you wear a mask, if you don't wear a mask, there's a 9% chance of getting this. If you wear a mask, there's less than 0.1% of getting it if everybody is wearing masks. Don't have to worry about your hands. You don't worry about anything else. Just wear a mask. And I've been fighting this for a long time, but I agree with that 100% now. So just wherever you go, I respect anybody's ideas, whatever they want to do, however they want to handle this. But at least for everybody else, wear a mask. And that's it from me. Thank you.
David Yakabuchi, if you can unmute, you can have the floor. We'll give you a second if you can do that. We're going to actually skip you right now.
He said he's in an environment.
Yeah,
Okay,
he left
no
a
worries.
message in the chat. He said he can't
Right.
speak. He's in a noisy environment, but the
Well,
situation's
excellent.
brought him an increase in business, and he's fortunate to be essential. It's nice to see everyone. He says good luck, and thank you to everyone that has called him for his services. If you know anyone that, or if you know anyone he can help, let him know. Stay safe.
Excellent. He's he removes a lot of junk. If anyone doesn't know that, and he also is a resident handyman. I don't know. He doesn't take that category, and all of a sudden I have an accent when I say handyman. So next up we have Diane with B&D Corp, and right after we're going to do Joyce. Diane, are you there?
I'm here. I don't know if I'm there though. Hi, we're fine. We get out, we walk every day. A couple days ago, we put down our convertible top and took a convertible ride. And for that period of time, we felt quite normal. We even went down to Dana Point to see if we could walk around, and miraculously we could. So we took advantage of walking around Dana Point, which felt very normal. Business, is okay. It comes and go. Our major business is coming from New York, and pharmacies who are buying things in amounts of 5,000 hand sanitizers, doing it that way because they're increased the limits of all the products. And I'll let Paul talk to use some of my time to tell you what's on business, but we're fine. Our family is fine, and that's what it's all about. And I agree too. I look forward to this being over.
Before I say anything, Randy, I just want to thank you very much for the work that you've done on our car. We're now getting 3 weeks to a gallon. It's really what we're doing is we're sending out emails on when they're good things that are coming along. And just recently, following up on what David Weiss was saying, we sent out a bulletin about face masks. Where we've got a special price going on 2,000. Rose came to us and said, "Well, is there a way of splitting that up between people?" And yeah, actually there is. The master case is 2,000. Within there are their boxes of 50. So what we would have to do is we'd have to ship to a central place and then just divvy them up if you're interested. The masks sell for $1.32. We've got them down to 99 cents. So if that's something that people are interested in, as I say, you're going to have to group up and get to the 2,000 and so on. So just shoot us an email or Rose if you want to mastermind it. Whatever. Just as a quick aside, we were sitting in the CVS parking lot and just getting ready to leave, and there was a guy parked facing us. And he got out of his car and he came to our car, knocked on the door. We opened up the window and so on. And he handed us, this was really something. He handed us 2 face masks. just out of the blue. What a sweet thing to do. And a couple of hand sanitizers, as a matter of fact. I didn't get a chance to tell him what we were doing because he gave it to us and he took off. But what a sweet thing to do. Anyway, look, anything that you're looking for in terms of promotional products, we certainly have. And our business, as Diane said, our business is fine. Life is good. We're having a great time with this and staying at home. But if you can help with these masks, let us know. Have a great one. And again, Randy, thanks for all the great work on that car, man. It is super. 3 weeks to a gallon. Wow.
Excellent. Joyce, you're up. And right after, we will have Julie Morris.
Good morning, everyone. It's Joyce with Saddleback Windows and Doors. Things are pretty much the same as last week. We have a slow and steady business right now. Definitely less than it was, but I have 2 measures tomorrow, and we sold 2 or 3 jobs in the last couple days that were large jobs. So, you know, it's getting a couple of those really large jobs that make the difference, and certainly happy with any job, but that, you know, makes us feel like, okay, well, it sustains us a little bit longer, you know? So you don't know what the next couple weeks are gonna bring or what the market's gonna do with windows and doors, but we're hanging in there, and we are doing our social distancing, wearing our masks, measuring from the outside. People might leave the room or the house, and our installers are wearing their masks. So everybody seems to be okay with us coming and continuing to get their windows and doors done. So we are doing okay, We're getting out and walking, and I've got a million projects in my home that could keep me busy for another 20 years. So I'm fine.
Excellent. So next up, after Julie, we will have Larry. Julie, go ahead and take the floor.
Good morning, everyone. After, you know, how many weeks we've been in this, and we've got a couple more weeks to go, I just love to see your faces on Thursday morning. It's one of the highlights of my week. I want to say to everybody, it's not my birthday. I have turned into kind of a social media disaster, but that was a background that I was playing around with. But thank you. Couple things. We're fine here at our house, trying to keep upbeat and doing projects every day. Most of my Mary Kay business is face-to-face, so of course there aren't any home parties or anything like that. But the good news is I have lots of samples. So what I'm doing right now is I'm sending out, I think Rose received one of mine. This is a little facial in a bag. I don't know if you can see it. I have to change this real quick to my, sorry. So this is a little facial in a bag. And this is a little sample makeup card. So it comes for blue eyes, brown eyes, and green eyes. And in here, there are actual samples that people can use on their face. So there's no sales going on here, but I do have a lot of samples. I have a website, Michael Brandt. Oh my gosh, I need your boot camp. But I do, if anybody wants to go on the website, I have a little, it's a private group. So I would invite you or all of your wives or girlfriends. It's called Julie Morris Loves Mary Kay. And in there, you can private message me with your address, and I'll send you a facial in a bag, a mask, a charcoal mask, some makeup, whatever it is. There's no sales involved here, but I have a lot of samples, and it's nice to get something in the mail that you can have fun with. I also would like to ask, I thank you for sending out the most recent address, not an address. I'm looking for Dan's address because I'd really like to send a card to him. So if anybody could send that to us, thank you so much. Anyway, it's really nice to see your face. I know we're going to have a few more weeks of this, but I look forward to next Thursday. So thanks so much. And men, have your wives and girlfriends. Julie Morris Loves Mary Kay. It's really nice to get a little something in the mail. No strings attached.
I know the most exciting thing is getting something from Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a little surprise. And unfortunately, when when things go south financially, the things that go up are alcohol. It used to be tobacco, but cosmetics. Everybody loves lipstick when they're feeling bad. Thanks.
Yes, lipstick and vodka, they go great together. So next up we have Larry, and right after we'll have Melinda.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody. It looks like we have 27 people. I sent out an attendance list yesterday to give you kind of a history of who's been attending and also let you know who to reach out to. So we've got about a 50% attendance, and it'd be great to see the others. So if you see anybody on the list that isn't here today, and I'll send out an update later today, please reach out to them so that we can get them involved in the meeting also. I'm excited. I understand that Joyce is coming to Measure for Windows tomorrow. Yes, she is. So we're going to get new windows in our slum. And Julie, please send back the birthday present that I sent to you by mistake. I would appreciate that. Anyway, we have been extremely busy because we're doing more and more telecommuters, more offsite workers, more mobile applications, more Zoom conferences. So I'm fortunate that all of my people are keeping extremely busy. At this point, half of us are telecommuting. I have been quarantined for 40 days now. You know, being Jewish, 40 days, 40 nights, it's all a blur. Anyway, so I can't complain. I'm getting used to doing more and more Zoom. I now own a Facebook portal, so my grandchildren are driving me crazy. So anyway, if anyone needs any help with any communication needs, I'm happy to help them at this point. And thank you for attending this morning.
Excellent, thank you. And next up we have Melinda. Melinda, we're going to give you a little time to talk about more on, not right now, but later, on what's going on with the loans and so on. So just FYI, pitch yourself now.
Okay, hi everybody. Well, we're doing great. I'm working from home, as is most of my colleagues at the bank. So only essential employees are manning the branch, and we're letting customers in one by one. And we're a private business bank, so we don't have a lot of foot traffic anyways. And family's healthy. Husband works for Alaska Airlines, so we're both employed, thank God. And although probably not for long for my husband, because there's big plans for Alaska Airlines to be a completely different airline come September. So more on that later. Let's see. Busier than I've ever been in my entire life. Doing these PPP loans. I know we can talk more about that later, but other than that, everybody's healthy, employed, missing you guys, missing life, and that's about it.
Excellent. Next up,
I would really like to hear that gossip on Alaska Air if you got a minute today.
Me too.
Well, you can feature it a
First to
little
know,
bit
maybe?
later.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, let's sell that stock. No kidding. Or buy that stock. Who knows, right? So let's next up we're gonna have Patty take the floor, and then right after will be Randy.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to see everyone. Happy to be here. The bookkeeping world is crazy busy. Not necessarily all financially successful, but just in the helping mode. I think all of us, you might think of bookkeeping as just black and white, dry business, but all of us, I think, need to reach out really at the emotional level and say we care about our customers. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, and just offering people help. Every industry has their own sort of language, and some people understand the terminology, some don't. So just simple things that I can offer my expertise is what I'm trying to do right now, and help people through this economic crisis. But myself, we're well. My husband is well, praise God. And he's an essential industry in the construction trade. He's still working and being safe. And I'm used to working virtually, so my team is virtual. So we're hanging in there. Stay well, stay strong, everyone.
Excellent. Next up, we're going to have Randy, and right after it'll be Richard Regal.
Good morning. So a little update on our business. Right now we're doing about 65 to 70% of what we normally do. So I think we're doing pretty well. A lot less cars on the road, so a lot less breakdowns. We're doing a lot less non-essential maintenance, but we're still doing it. I've got a couple people that call, elderly people that call and want their oil changed, and I try to talk them into staying home because they don't need their car driving around right now. We're working by appointment only. We have closed our service office, but most of our work is done via the telephone. So we're kind of working remotely, but we're still here. The technicians are I still have 5 technicians on staff. Amir, my partner up front, he is on leave for a little while. He's scared to death of being here. So I think he's watching the news too much. So I'm one old guy like me is trying to do the work of 2 young guys. So we do have seating outside. Everything is by appointment. We're doing a lot more work that we haven't done. We're taking in vehicles that, like I've got a 51 Ford here right now. I've got a 74 Oldsmobile. I've got a Bentley that we're working on. So we're doing stuff that we don't normally do. We worked on Julie Morris's daughter's car, which we wouldn't normally work on. It's a diesel Mercedes. We're kind of broadening our horizons because we don't want to turn anything down in this type of environment. So a couple things, David Jacobucci and Sarah Nagel, thank you for doing a few things for me. Matt Ferron, Cliff, and Charlie Bott have referred me. And I've seen Larry Stern's employees, Paul Hersbrin, Al Soley's been in, Melinda, her daughter's been in, and Julie Morris's Mercedes. So anyways, thank you all for the business. We're wide open and ready for you.
Excellent. Next up, we're going to have Richard Regal, and right after that, we're going to have Robert LaCroix.
All right. Good morning, everybody. This is the time where folks like me, I'm a certified financial planner with Edward Jones, really earn our keep. If you work with a financial planner and they're not calling you, and they're not talking to you, and they're not giving you information and making you feel better, then you need to talk to somebody else. I'm one of the fortunate people. We're an essential business. I can work from home or my office. I choose to work from my office because I don't have any background noise there. Unfortunately, it's awfully quiet. We're not allowed to have clients in, but we certainly are allowed to get on the phone, to talk to people, to talk them off the cliff, as I call it. No offense, Cliff, but we try to talk people down. This is one of those rare instances that it's a great time to get into the market, although it has started to settle down and it is starting to come back. You can make a lot of moves right now to take care and help you with taxes for the next 5 or 10 years that don't cost you anything. But the most important thing is this is not a time to panic. This is not a time to hunker down. This is a time to talk to each other, to get the information you can. I'm sending out information to everybody on this call that wants it. I sent out stuff yesterday about the oil problems that are going on that are exacerbating everything. If you want to buy oil futures, it's a great time to buy them. You just need to have somewhere to store a few 100,000 barrels of oil. So if you have a big backyard or maybe a swimming pool, that's a thought. But there are all kinds of things happening in the background that you need to know about. I'm sending out that information. I'm having my coffee club reinstated tomorrow. That's going to be digital. If you want to be on it, feel free. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the economy and the environment and oil. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be my first time. So thank you. I think I probably have eaten up my time, but it's all about, smiling and being happy and try to get through this. And we're all going to come out just fine. Just fine.
One hot stock tip.
Yeah.
One hot stock tip if you want.
I'm thinking Alaska Airlines, but I don't know for sure right now. But if you really want to know, stay away from energy. Finances are good right now. Banks are good right now, and tech is good right now. But yeah, stay away from energy and stay away from consumer discretion. There's our categories. That's how we divide them up. But and stay away from travel. Yeah, stay away from stay away from travel. It's going to come back. It will come back. It's just got a longer path to get there. All right.
Excellent.
Thanks very much, guys. Love seeing you guys every Thursday morning.
Excellent. Next up, we're going to have our infamous, not so infamous, let's see. Sarah, can you take the floor? Sarah Vaziri, is that how you say it?
Yeah, but I think it was Bob LaCroix's turn before me.
Excuse me?
Robert? He didn't talk.
Who's speaking?
Oh, this is Sarah.
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay.
Oh, Robert, we skipped Robert. We'll go back to Robert. Sorry.
Okay.
It was you know, I'm sure everyone needs their carpets cleaned right now. They're home way too much, spilling everything.
So good morning, everybody. As far as family, I'm actually doing double job by homeschooling my kids and doing the business brokerage. And I bet that business brokerage is very, very easier. I mean, I can never be a homeschooler. But as far as business, I was in a webinar from California Restaurant Association, and right now about 80,000 restaurants are closed in California, and they expect that at least about 20,000 of them won't be able to open again. So it's a disastrous situation, and we are just trying to find out how we could help these people by making good decisions, probably going out of their business, so they can take care of at least their lease, or maybe change their concept. Sometimes they can turn to a franchise concept, kind of essential business, or anyways, we are trying to do our best. And as Patty said, it's more of kind of consulting to help business owners make decisions that they don't make problem for them in the long run. But we are trying to stay positive and move forward. And it was so nice seeing all of you. And it's really nice seeing all of you on Thursday mornings. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert, go ahead and take the floor.
The infamous Robert Michael LaCroix. Good morning, everyone. I hope that you all are doing as well as I am. I'm believing that you are. I'm doing very well. Had a lot of things hit us. We've had 3 deaths in the family. Fortunately, not real close, not my father-in-law or mother-in-law, which would crush my wife. My wife is still taking care of her father, who is a paraplegic. She leaves every Friday and stays Friday and most of Saturday to take care of him for part of his needs. That helps out the family. And he owns 5 houses. And in this economy, it's been kind of interesting getting the rent from all those 5 renters, because that's how he lives, especially being a paraplegic. And what else? We had a lot. Oh, we had a leak. We had to rip out the heating and air conditioning unit. We had to rip up the upside bathroom. I have been busier than ever, just not making as much money. And I've still been cleaning a lot of carpet. David Yacobucci's been using me on those cleanups he's got. He's got a lot of important cleanups that he's got to do. And some of them are with even contaminated ingredients. And I go out there and clean them and take care of the situation. I have been busy, and I've been doing a lot of area rugs. People calling me, bringing by area rugs to me, and coming back and picking them up. So I've been busy. As busy as normal? No. And fortunately, I had a lot of people that owed me on the books, and they've been paying me. So that's how I've stayed afloat. It's getting pretty thin, but I figure when this is all done, everybody's going to be calling, because like you said, I'm still getting calls in this, and people would want me to go to Kodo here, there, wherever. I don't mind. I do it. I wear gloves, wear a mask. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm sure that when we're done with this, there's going to be a lot of people turning to get their carpets cleaned because they have wore them down.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Robert. Next up, we're going to have Giovanni take the floor. Right after that, it's going to be Sarah Nagel.
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Robert, I'm so sorry to hear about your family members that passed away. My condolences to you, and good luck with that. Well, we're all in this together, like they say. I'm in the same way as most everyone out there. Most of my customers, all of my customers are closed. So I've been making a few phone calls, but not getting any business, obviously. So I kind of writing it off. Yeah, so it's been rough. It's been tough. Waiting for the stimulus package like everyone else, but don't look like anything is coming in. I go out to the beach and walk around by myself. not getting close to anyone. I see my grandkids at a distance. It's crazy, new world we live in. We're afraid to play with our grandkids. My grandson is asking me, Papa, are you sick? I go, no, I'm not sick. He goes, is Teta sick? I go, no, Teta's not sick. He is asking me, am I sick about himself? I tell him, no, Oliver, you're not sick, because why can't we play together? So, it's hard for me to explain that to him, but I tried. Anyway, yeah, so my business is like face-to-face, just like Julie's and everyone else, David Weiss, Claudia. So we're all in this together, and it's been a struggle, but just enjoying the time off. And basically, my pool is spick and span. I've been cleaning it every day. And there's so much you can clean in a pool. My backyard is clean. My garage is clean. My closets are clean. So there's so much you can do. And what else? I'm trying to figure out what the other side of 19 is going to look like. I can't see too many positives there. I think this is really, really bad. And I think it's going to get a lot worse with the businesses shutting down and 26 million people unemployed. I just can't see things flipping like a light switch, like our fearless leader, Mr. Trump says. He wants to flick a light switch and everything is going to come back to normal. I'm trying to figure that out and struggling with it, and I don't think it's going to work. I'm trying to be as positive as I can. As most of you know, I'm an extremely positive person, but under these circumstances, I just don't see too many positives in the near future. Maybe 2021 might be a better year. We'll see how it goes. With that,
it definitely will. It definitely will.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm alive. I'm in good health. Trying to stay healthy, and that's all I can expect. That's all I want, really. Because if you ain't got your health, you ain't got nothing, brother.
Thank you so much, Giovanni. Next up, we have Sarah Nagel, and then Tom Siepel. You'll be right after.
Hello, can you guys see? Oh, you can hear me and see me. Okay, great. I don't see my face on the main screen, but that's fine. I just want to tell everybody how grateful I am to be here and see everybody and to be updated by all of your professions. For sure, it enhances my practice. And thank you, for contributing. I'm as busy as ever. As busy as, I could work 12 hours a day, but I'm kind of taking it a little bit easier because I don't get my break. I used to work like a maniac until April 15th and then get a month or two off, but now I'm just going to be working straight through. And I'll take a week off here and there, but a lot of information now is coming forward with these small business administration loans. And I guess we'll be talking about that in a little while, so I won't go into all of that. But this care package that came through with those small business administration, I saw, we had a seminar on that a couple of days ago, and it was, I'm not going to lie, it's a little exhausting because these new tax laws that come in, we have to really adjust our thinking with the kind of the way we prepare the taxes and what's important, and so my mind is reeling just a tad with that. I've had a lot of clients call in regards to these stimulus packages and the payments, and I do have some information to share in regards to that. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Tom Siepel. Take the floor.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Juan, can I have some more coffee? Armin, if you're still there, pass the cream and sugar. Oh, I'm at home. I'm not at the meeting. You know, the weather's going to be hot the next week or so. Now's the time to check out your air conditioner. Turn it on, make sure everything's working fine. If you have a problem, give us a call. And being that you're spending all this time at home, I hope that everybody's checked their filter and changed their filter if it needs it. Home Depot's open, you can pick up filters there. I'm originally from Northern Michigan. I talked to one of my sisters that still lives up there. A week and a half ago, they had one person quarantined up there. Yesterday, they got 35 people with the virus and 1 death. This is a small area of like 25,000 people. So be careful out there. I guess we got to wear our masks and stay our distance away from everybody. So if there's any problems you're having with air conditioning or heating, give us a call. I don't think you'll need your heat for a while, but the air conditioning, make sure you turn it on. Go outside in the condensing unit outside, make sure there's nothing obstructing it. It's got to have free flow air for airflow through it. And the top of it is not something you should be piling stuff on top of it. It's got to get that airflow properly through it. So give us a call. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know PDFs could go through here. On the chat, there's a PPP loan forgiveness link you could grab from Patty. Pretty cool. I didn't know you could do files. Even I can learn stuff. Thank God. I never stop learning. My God, I'm taking a training course right now. It's only 38 hours long, so I have a little time on my hands. Next up, we have Tony Rich and Tom Seipel. Tom Schultz. You'll be right after.
Morning, all. It's good to see everybody. This is a nice break instead of sitting in this apartment all day long doing nothing. I am still going in to see emergencies. There's not very many, but I do have one occasionally. Got a lady this afternoon if I get in to see her. Other than that, I'm grateful I'm teaching. I'm teaching online, which is a whole new learning curve using Zoom. So I've got to plug in all my quizzes and finals and exams into the program so they can take them online. How many of you will be willing to say all my students won't cheat if they're taking a test at home? Yeah, right. Other than that, I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. I wanted to talk to, was it Patty? Did you say that independent contractors qualify for unemployment?
Yes, I posted something in the chat from the EDD website. So if you look back in the chat box, there's a link in there to the EDD website that talks about that.
Okay, I might look into that. Thank you. Other than that, it's good to see everybody. I'm glad to be here today.
Great to see you, Tony. Next up, we have Tom Schultz, and then Keith O'Neill will be the last one. Chat me if I have not got you. Oh, Rose, we didn't get Rose. Right after Keith O'Neill will be Rose. Go ahead and take the floor, Tom Schultz.
Good morning, everyone. Kimberly and Ty and I are doing well and making our way around the block like everyone else on a good walk and trying to stay healthy and eat good food and all those wonderful things. So the OC housing market, let's talk about that briefly. Housing, like a lot of other businesses, is supply and demand. So yes, demand is down. People are staying home. They're not out looking at houses as much as they were, but also supply is down. So some people pulled their homes off the market or decided to keep their house off the market for a time now, but houses are selling. I put 2 houses up this weekend on Thursday and sold one of them. We're opening up escrow today. The homes under $1 million are selling faster than the homes over $1 million. That's not going to change. That's the way it's always been. But days on market are going longer. So how long a house stays in the market is going to be the change right now. If you have any questions about the housing market, what's going on, what's happening, please feel free to give me a call. Happy to have that conversation with you. I'm doing lots of Zoom meetings for families that are thinking about when's a good time to put their house in the market, because normally the spring market is very active. We're expecting the spring market to move out a little bit farther down the road here, but things are going to continue to move. And if you have anything you need, anything you want just to talk about, please let me know. Have a great day and stay positive, guys.
All right, I love that. King of the flat fee. And next up, we're going to have Keith O'Neill, and right after that, Rose. Take the floor, Keith.
Randy, I give you credit because you guys are
Keith, go ahead and start over. You were muted, sorry.
Okay, am I good now?
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Randy, I give you a lot of credit because at this time, one of the best things you can do is adapt to what's going on and adapt your business to it, because it is going to be kind of a new normal. I got devastated in the speaking. I had 6 major presentations coming up, gone. But fortunately, my practice is very busy. So, and with this isolation, the unfortunate thing about that is stress, anxiety, depression, all of that is getting worse. I mean, the longer we're isolated, the patience, the optimism, all that stuff starts to wane somewhat. And it's going to change, guys. It's going to change. But what can you do within your business to really prepare for when things get better again? I'll give you an example. If you go on my Facebook page, you guys are all welcome to. I have 2 pages. I have a business page. I have my individual page. But I do videos every week on different tips and positivity and that sort of thing that I would love you guys to come and take a look. Out of that, I got connected with the Tom Ferry group. Tom Ferry is one of the big real estate coaches throughout the state of California. And I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with them now that came out of nowhere, because I never really thought about, working with the real estate industry. Now, I've presented a couple times to RE/MAX and some the Sarasota Board of Realtors and stuff, but to really get that sort of thing. So that's new for me. So there are things out there that you can look at and really be creative in how you can adapt to what's going on, and it's going to help you. Vicki and I are doing well. The puppy Bailey's doing great. And again, do whatever you can do to stay positive. So make sure you're moving forward. We're all going to fall, but just make sure when you fall forward. Just keep moving in that direction, and everything eventually will shift and things will get better, but it really comes from within you. It starts with you. Dr. Keith O'Neill, psychologist, hypnotherapist. And I am still working, and if any of you just need to talk to vent or whatever, just pick up the phone. My gift, we can chat, and maybe I can give you a little bit of guidance or whatever to help you get through this.
Excellent. Thank you, Keith. Next up, we're going to have Rose, and that'll be the final one, unless somebody chats me if I missed you.
Oh, good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see all your faces. We're doing great over here. There's always music playing in the house. I think it's very uplifting, because when music's playing, I want to sing, and that just, I just love that. It just makes me feel very positive. And we are still working a little bit, of course, taking safe practices, as I've mentioned before. We were able to give Siavash a referral last week. My husband, the general contractor, as you all know, and there's some things that he just won't do. So he passed it on, so that was cool. And doing a little something with Julie, I think that's going to lead to a little skincare party here. So keep your invitations open. But what we've been doing is just kind of sorting through. We've got some big projects going, and I'd love to be of service to you, to your customers, Joyce, with the new windows going in. And Larry, I expect a phone call if you need window coverings for your new windows. But we got some exciting things happening with the new spring. I wanted to bring this to light. We have all of the new spring fabrics are here. Different color books. There's a lot of things that we can do. Some of these are right up front. I just love them. You don't have to just do drapery with these fabrics. You can do pillows, cornice boxes, valances, headboards. and of course drapery. So the colors are really, really light and muted this season for the spring. These are some really energetic greens, some of my favorites. So a lot of pattern, a lot of embroidery, but we do have those simple faux linens and faux silks and things like that for people that want to simplify. But we're having fun with it, just out with some of the old books, in with some of the new, just staying really positive. And, you know, Al and I were playing some music, karaoke, dancing. It's like we were like kids again, just trying to really stay in the moment and enjoy every moment that we have together. Because this is kind of makes you feel like what retirement's like, you know, being in the same place with everybody at the same time for so long. So hopefully it can be as wonderful as when I retire. So just blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for all being on this morning. I know a couple people, first time we've seen them in a couple of weeks, so we're loving that. So Cliff and Mike, nice to have you back for sure. Peace out.
Peace out.
Do we know anything about Carlos?
I haven't heard anything.
I had Carlos was out at my house about a week ago to take down the palm tree that fell over in the rain. I also referred him to another customer 2 days ago. So Carlos seems to be very active at this point and doing well. I just haven't coerced him into coming to the meetings, but he's out there and he seems to be keeping very busy.
Matt.
Can I?
Oh, go ahead.
One thing, I don't know if anybody else knows this, John McComb at Signarama put on Facebook that Rod Duclos had passed away.
Oh, no.
So
Oh,
I
wow.
don't, yeah, that was about a week ago. So possibly maybe if Kelly or somebody, we could send some flowers over to Willie. It'd probably be very well appreciated.
Real quick, yeah, I announced it last week, Tom, and you cannot send flowers. The flower industry is not essential, and they won't send flowers. If you want Rod's home address, I can post that if you want. Yeah,
I've already sent.
Yeah,
I already sent a card to him. So,
Okay.
you know, Dave, do you know if there's going to be any services?
no services at all. She's going to wait till this is all done. Willie's devastated. It happened the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter. I saw him right before that. He knew what was happening, and 4th stage lung cancer. It didn't last very long, but he wasn't in a lot of pain at the end. So,
Thanks, Dave.
For the benefit of the group, to explain who this was, he was a longtime member before Paul and Diane. He was our promotional products person. Rod Duclos, he was a member for how many years, Tom Seipel? 10 more or more?
oh, more than that. I knew him back from Latip days.
Right, probably 25 years. And he
Yeah.
made all our badges. So we're going to have to find a new
Yeah,
person.
Willie's not going to continue that. Willie won't be doing them anymore. She
Right.
said.
Yeah, so we'll have
If
to
you
find
could,
somebody
if you
new.
could post the address in the chat,
I will
please.
do that.
Diane and Paul can do the badges. Yeah, they're waving their hands.
Okay.
Sorry about that. He was a great guy. I'll go on Matt. I was just thinking, is there anyone that we should mention? I know that's struggling. I know Miriam is actually, chiropractic is an essential business. She can see people one at a time. So if you guys know anyone that is having back pain, everyone should stay at home, but not in pain. So if you guys send someone there, or if you guys need, you're in back pain, I'm in back pain, but I haven't had a massage in 2 months. But so send them her way. I know my chiropractors are taking great procedures, one person at a time. Everyone gets a mask, everything gets changed, very clean environment. So they're being very safe. So
I'm glad
anyone
she's
else?
still open.
Anyone else?
I was just going to mention Asuman. We chatted a little bit the other day, and she's kind of in the same boat where things are really tight. She is going in to see emergency situations or people to pick up their glasses or their contacts and that kind of thing. So just working very limited hours. She called because she needed some bead connectors for her roller shade chain, so I was able to hook her up with some spare parts. But yeah, so she is seeing people. If you need her, she's there.
Anyone heard from Josh Seffi or Ed Betterov recently?
Yeah,
I forgot everyone's on mute right now.
So as I mentioned, I sent out the attendance list last night for the last 2 weeks. I took attendance today and I'll be updating it, and take a look. And I purposely created the spreadsheet with cell phone numbers and emails to make it easy for you to reach out to them. So harass them to death so they get here, because I think the bigger the group, the better. And frankly, it's just very uplifting and motivating to be here. So I think they would benefit.
Definitely. If nothing else, it's just nice to know the people out there care about you. So thanks for putting this together, Larry. And for anyone that is of any concern, no, we're not taking attendance. This is more just, like Larry said, to find out who's here, who's not, so we can reach out and stay in touch with everyone. But I know everyone has potentially busy days ahead, and I know there's some new information on the payroll protection program that just came out. I know Sarah mentioned it. I'm wagering Melinda has a few updates for us as well. I don't know if you guys want to take maybe a quick 5 minutes just to bring us up to speed on the basics, or we can get you unmuted. Hey, Mike, do you mind getting Sarah and Melinda unmuted real quick?
Sure.
Because I know with all the recent
Melinda's
changes.
unmuted, and I'll get Sarah. Go ahead, Melinda. You can take the floor.
Well, I'm real hesitant to say anything at this point because nothing's signed. And the first go around, there were many changes and a lot of miscommunications in the first few days. So there are really no changes that I know of right now, except for there's more money that's coming our way. And we expect, the president said he's going to sign. So we don't know how long it'll be before the SBA reopens the portal so that we can start entering applications into their online system again. Banks use a system called eTrans, and that's how we get the applications to SBA. So we're thinking maybe Friday or Monday that we'll be able to start again. One thing that we believe, we meaning my executives at the bank, is in talking to other banks and other community banks and big banks and folks that work kind of behind the scenes at some of the big banks, that they really didn't handle the first go around too well, and they're all really ready with better systems in place, and the big banks like Wells and B of A will be able to process more applications. I don't know if their internal rules are changing as far as who they'll accept applications for. If you ask me, wherever you bank, they should be taking your application, regardless if you have a credit card with them or not. That's kind of created a bigger issue, that it's not a level playing field between all of the banks. They can kind of make their own rules. So really depends on what bank you bank with. So I'm hoping to see some changes in this next go around that helps streamline, what the banks can and can't do as far as turning their customers away. So hopefully next Thursday I'll have more information. We think the money's going to run out within a couple of days. The first go around, the portal was open for 9 days, and Easter's included in that. And I know at my bank we were processing round the clock 24/7 to get as many allocation codes from the SBA that we could. But because the big banks weren't entering applications for a few days, we think this time they're ready to go, and they're going to be able to put them through the system a lot quicker. So if you guys haven't applied, you should check back with your bank. Hopefully you can get a response from your bankers. I know they're all busy, big banks, little banks. And trust me, I've got probably 20 people I got to call back today. So, and that's just in the first part of the day. Anyway, I know that there are some tax benefits along with the PPP. I'm not a tax person, so I can't talk on that, but maybe Sarah can.
Well, I do have a question for you, Melinda, and that question is, as you were saying, the portals are closed, so we're not able to get in and apply for these loans, and the banks are closed. So I think what the banks are saying is go directly to the portal, you know, their specific portal. No,
so there's one. The EIDL loan, you have to go to the portal for.
Right.
The PPP loan, you have to go to a bank for. You have to.
And how do you contact the bank if they're closed?
Well, the bank shouldn't be closed. It's an essential business, so they have to be open. But there are branches of big banks that have closed, so you just got to find a branch that's open if you don't have a personal banker. But everybody that owns a business should have a relationship manager assigned to them at their bank, whether it's small or big.
So you should probably talk to Parker's Bank.
I'm sorry?
I said, and if you don't have that relationship established, you should probably talk to Melinda in her bank.
Yeah, give me a few weeks. So there is very little normal banking business happening. So with businesses, out of work, less activity at the banks on that side, and that frees up our time to focus on all of the PPP applications. We've got hundreds and hundreds of apps. We're a small bank. And we've gotten through 283 applications and funded $150 million in loans since Monday we started funding. So that's really good for a teeny tiny little bank. But we worked weekends.
Even though the
okay, so can I have the floor here? I'd like to talk about a few things about what we've learned about these loans. The EIDL loan or grant is what Melinda was saying. You have to go onto the link. It's a very easy application, and it's interesting because it's not open now. You cannot access this application. But hopefully, if we keep on checking, we'll be able to access it, as Melinda said, on Friday or Monday. Once you do access it, what you should keep in mind is that they will give you up to $1,000 per employee. Now, when you fill out the application and they ask how many employees you have, it's important that you put yourself as an employee. If you're self-employed, your net income would be your income, and then that would be an employee. That was a mistake that we were making. So the maximum that they will give you is $1,000 per employee. Now, another thing that's interesting is that you can apply for both of the loans, the EIDL and the PPP loan, both. And the PPP loan, which is what Melinda was talking about, is based on payroll as well. And that one, I guess you have to go into the bank to apply for. I know the banks do have links, and if you can, you're probably going to be more successful going into the bank and seeing if they'll take your application. But, everybody's frustrated because this money is limited and it's hard to get the applications in, and it'll only be for a couple of days. So if you want this money, you're going to have to be prepared and act quickly. Is anyone interested in this? I don't know if I've answered your questions in regards to these two loans from the Small Business Administration. If anybody has questions.
Sarah, I have a question. On the PPP loan, they require, I guess it's a W-3 from 2019 for employees to show the gross amount. They're asking for an average monthly. I assume you take the total, divide it by 12, and then there's a 2.5 times that amount, and that's the loan amount, I guess. That's what I'm reading. What other documents?
The banks are requesting P&Ls, tax returns, basically that. They want to see last year's tax returns. If you don't have the 2019 tax returns, they'll probably ask for a P&L for 2019. And then the payroll reports, and it could just be a W-3. So that's about it.
Can I step in there?
Yes.
I will send you guys an email of what we're asking for so everybody can see a sample. Every bank is pretty much the same. It could be a little bit different from bank to bank, but primarily tax documentation we want to see, and not everybody's filed 2019. So P&Ls are good. What you have to do, keep in mind, everybody, if you're applying for this, your payroll costs, however you came up with that dollar figure, you need to have supporting documentation for, because the bank is required to validate how you came up with that figure. So if you're adding in your group health insurance costs, you need to provide backup for that. How did you included a number for that? What's that number? Show me the evidence. Retirement benefit costs, because you can include those things in your payroll calculation, as well as state and local, not federal taxes, state and local. So those items, if it's involved in your calculation, you need to provide a document for it. So 941s, 940s for 2019 and the first quarter of 2020 as well, because they need proof that you were in business on February 15th, 2020. So, and while I have everybody, I think that we should do a separate Q&A maybe just for those interested on Zoom. You all have businesses, and maybe one of you has a question that another one will benefit from. So I'd be happy to do something like that if everybody's interested.
Sounds good to me. Just let me know.
I can host it too. Would you like to do it tomorrow? What time works for you?
I hate to say early, but
that's fine.
What
time is it? What's early to you? Like 10 a.m., 12 noon? Just kidding.
Yeah, 7.
What's 7? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I have to be, nose to the grind all day.
7 works tomorrow, guys. 7, be here or be sleeping and lose out on some dollars in your pocket. So guys, this is great. Thank you, Melinda, for offering this. I don't know if you want to join too, Sarah, but
yes, I'll be there as well. Did anyone have want information in regards to the stimulus checks? Should I talk about that for a moment, or should we wait until tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we got 20 minutes, 15.
Okay, so in regards
to the stimulus, Sarah.
Yeah, in regards to the stimulus checks, the 1,000, what is it, $400 or $200 that are supposed to be coming through, a lot of people have been receiving those through, if they have a direct deposit on their taxes, then they should have received, or they will be receiving those checks pretty quickly. If you do not have a direct deposit and your income as a single person is under 75,000 or married filing joint under 150, they will mail you the checks, and it could take up to 5 months. So there is a correction in that you can go to irs.gov for the coronavirus, where's my payment, and enter your bank information, but I have not been successful trying to do that for clients. I've not been able to get in. I'm getting a response back that they can't access. But if you are a dependent on, let's say your parents put you down as a dependent, then I can hear your stuff in the background. So anyway, if you're a dependent, you will not be getting a stimulus check. Now, if your parents, if you have dependents on your taxes, if the child is under 17, you'll get $500 per child. Any dependent over the age of 17 will not get, you will not get $500. So that's kind of the summary on that. If anybody has questions.
I have a question. What if you haven't filed 2019? Because we were ready to file, and then all this happened, and my tax accountant said just let it be for right now. So does that mean that stimulus won't come until it's filed?
What that means is they're working on the 2018. It's too late. They've as of April the 22nd, the IRS has already processed those, and it's based on the 2018 tax returns.
2018. Okay, so we're good.
Unless you filed before. If you've already filed, then they'll base them on the 2019. But to try now and catch up and change things, so it's more, it's a better result, it's too late.
Yeah, no worries about that. I was just curious if it was based on the 2019 tax. So thank you so much for that insight.
Excuse me, Sarah, you said something about a website to go to inquire about that stimulus check. I caught part of it, but I didn't get it. Could you give me that website again, please?
Yeah, it's simply irs.gov. That'll take you to the IRS website, and then it's pretty user friendly. So even for
IRS Get My Payment, if you IRS Get My Payment, so of course look for the irs.gov to make sure you're on the right site. But
yeah, I have one other comment too that Tony mentioned. If you receive a check in the mail, which I think is pretty early for those checks, I haven't heard that they're really coming in the mail, but there's some fraudulent checks that are coming in where fraudsters are trying to get bank information. So it would be wise to be careful about those checks also.
Thank you.
I guess Facebook is or Face. What is it, Tony? Is Tony still on? Anyway, so we have to be careful.
We got a copy of a check in an envelope. It looked like an official check from the IRS, but they said they were scammers who were trying to get your bank information. So be careful. I don't know how you determine which is right and wrong, but.
Go to the bank.
Pardon?
Whoa.
Maybe take it to the bank.
And have them look at it.
About it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't heard of anyone receiving those checks yet, and it could be anywhere from 5 weeks to 5 months before we start seeing the checks come in by mail. And if you have Social Security and you have not filed a tax return, the IRS will use, or the government will use, the Social Security address, the address where you're receiving Social Security payments.
What if you owe taxes from previous years? Will they put it against that?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about that, so no. I don't think that. And also we will be reconciling that credit on the tax returns for the 2020 tax returns. Does anybody have any other questions in regards to the stimulus payments?
Sarah, what happens if they don't? Oh.
What happens if they don't have enough income in 2020? Do they have to pay back that amount, or what happens?
No, they should receive a stimulus payment. It's only if you have too much income that you would not be receiving it. It has nothing to do with not enough.
You receive it right now, but you said that you will reconcile it when you're filing 2020 taxes. So if somebody doesn't have enough income at that time, do they have to pay that back anyways, or what?
No. Everybody's, if you're within the certain criteria, your income is below the 150 married filing joint or 75,000, then, and you haven't received it, this is the way I understand it, then you'll be getting it through your tax return. Okay. We're just confirming that you have received that credit. If you haven't, then you should be getting it.
Question I have with regard to the payroll protection program, I understand that if you use certain amount of it for actual payroll costs and the qualified things, the loan amount is forgiven. Does that count as income for taxable purposes at that point?
That's a good question, and
I see Melinda shaking her head.
I'm reluctant to. Patty, do you know? I'm reluctant to say, but my understanding was that it does not increase your income. That was my understanding.
That's my understanding. I just posted in the chat a little bit ago, if people scroll back to the PDF that Michael Brandt was making mention of. It's a guidance paper put out by a law firm yesterday around 4 o'clock or so about the loan forgiveness part of it. Matt, you're right. The amount you get, if you can prove then that 75% of it went to payroll cost, then it is a forgiven loan. It's basically free money. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's a tax-free grant.
Excellent, thank you.
Right, but you have to spend it on, there's 3 different things you can spend it on. That would be payroll, utilities, and then
correct,
mortgage.
But 75% payroll and the other 25% between utilities, the interest only on your mortgage or rent. So it's very specific what you can spend it on to not then have to pay it back. I've applied for it. I've applied for everything and gotten everything, and quite a few of my clients have also. So it works. It's working. It's available. It's out there. I suggest everyone apply real quickly. To the other thing to add, the other little wrinkle or new information is that fintech companies, meaning one of them being QuickBooks, Intuit, their parent company, is now allowed also to take PPP applications. So this is something new. It's not only through the bank. Fintech companies have now been approved through the SBA to also take PPP applications. So if you've got a QuickBooks file, you can see it right there. It's a real easy, right on the front page, the dashboard, everything really easy links how to apply. Another fintech company called Lendio, Lendio, is processing applications. So we're in an environment where we're living through the Who Moved My Cheese business book, bestseller a couple decades ago. So just stay nimble and stay ready to do what you need to do to survive in this environment. Listen to good advice and seek multiple counselors is wise to do.
I have a real quick question. I have a real quick question in regards to the stimulus check. If we did our 2018 taxes and we usually pay every year, would that check be direct deposit?
Yeah, go directly into your bank account.
Okay.
Into the account that you have the direct deposit with.
Okay, right. Even if we haven't done our 2019 yet.
And if IRS does not have your bank and routing number, the IRS Get My Payment, you can put in that information there.
Okay.
They're recommending that's the quickest way if you have not gotten your money yet. Like 80,000 Americans so far have gotten it, 80 million. But if you haven't,
able to get
Then
it.
go
get
to
through
the
that.
website, put in your bank account and routing number.
I
Okay.
have a website to get through that.
And ladies and gentlemen, not to interrupt the great conversation, I know Mike keeps these meetings going after the time goes. We have hit 8:30. If y'all have business to get off to, please feel free. It's been wonderful seeing y'all. Same time next week. But for those that want to keep asking questions, I think as long as we're here, I'm loving the information. So thank you all very much for coming out. Check Larry's email for the attendance list. If you see someone on there, reach out to them, say hi, make sure everyone is, realizing that they are valued, they are missed. It can be the emotional boost that we all need to get through this, because the reality is we will get through it. It is not a question of if, it is a matter of when. So with that, take this opportunity to live life. And it's been a pleasure seeing all of you. Take care, and I'll catch you next week.
I'm going to go.
Goodbye.
Thank you all. Next week. Thank you for the uplift. It's always nice.
Great seeing you all.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good
See you
one.
next week.
All right. See ya.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll stick around and answer questions if you guys
So
want.
can I ask you a question, Melinda? So in this PPP program, when they say that it has to be spent on wages and mortgages, does it mean that as a business owner you can pay for your personal home mortgage, and if it's acceptable, or what does it mean?
That's a really good question, and I don't think that's addressed. And there are little details like that that keep coming up that we just don't have the answer to, because it's not posted on the Treasury website. It might be addressed, and everybody can stay up to date by going to the FAQs. They're updated as things like this come out and they start getting question after question, they'll address it and update. So I think that
because I never heard that you as a business owner buy something, you call it mortgage. So I was wondering what does it mean exactly?
Yeah, well, commercial loans are also mortgages. So, if you have
as a small business owner, we rarely get to a situation that somebody buys a small place for their business. I don't know. That was why I thought that maybe you can put your personal mortgage there.
From the context, and this is me just like trying to read the legal tea leaves, I think they're looking at it from more the business oriented. If you happen to own the building that you're in, or if you happen to have a mortgage for the actual business, it doesn't appear that it would apply to personal home mortgage, but like Melinda said, they have not specified yet.
Melinda,
yeah, maybe if you're home office, maybe, but I don't think so. Matt's right.
Can I ask a question, Melinda?
Yes.
Okay, so for independent contractor like myself, they call it a gig worker, contractor. So are you familiar with AB 5, Assembly Bill 5?
I am.
Okay, so that's been an hindrance, and I haven't been able to apply for a lot of stuff because of that.
Yeah.
So any light on that? Can you shed any light on that? Like, I heard the other day, last Friday, that people like myself can't apply for unemployment. And I tried to go to that, and it's actually not ready yet either. So anything, the PPP, I went ahead and applied. I put an application in. I got nothing back. It's supposed to be like 10 days, and they'll get back to you. And I never heard anything. And I called them, and they, again, like you said, we're not going to know until the House passes the next thing, which would be tomorrow, because the Senate has. But the 335 billion or whatever, that kind of a thing. However, so the point being, for a gig worker like myself, an independent contractor who falls under the sole proprietor stuff, any light on that?
Yeah, you can qualify. Yeah, definitely. So also,
all of them.
Yeah, you can you can apply for unemployment. That's in the bill. So that's changed, gig workers, independent contractors, but also you can apply for the PPP. And everybody, if I were you, what Patty said about the fintech companies taking this on now, I would go out and apply at a couple of those, like, because they're not
what companies?
the fintech.
Financial tech.
Yeah. So because they're new to doing this, they're going to not have as many customers and applications to process as the banks. And many people are putting in applications at several different places and kind of seeing which one can get the allocation code first before the money runs out.
Is that FINTECH?
Yes.
Fintech. Okay. And so when you say different places, like your bank would take that too.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Well, and I think Cliff, I think as Patty mentioned, programs like QuickBooks fall under the fintech type of companies. I don't think fintech is an actual company, correct?
Correct.
So I have a question, Melinda. When you're completing these PPP loans for the self-employed individuals, and you say that they have to have proof, would you allow their Schedule C net income as proof of their wages if they have no employees, only they have themselves?
Yeah, it's going to have to be the Schedule C.
1099.
Or Schedule C. Oh, well,
Okay.
it's different, but yes.
I mean, I could show for last year, even though I haven't filed completely yet, I do have 1099, so that's more current for me. The 2018, then I can show the Schedule C.
Yeah, so either, whichever's going to support the payroll calculation. But yeah, your Schedule C, your personal tax returns, if you're a sole prop. Also, you have to be on the payroll. If you are, this gets kind of questionable, but see, sole proprietorships, it depends on if you use your social security number or an EIN also.
Melinda, can I ask a quick question?
Yep.
Actually, I'm going to let John ask it because it's his question. Go ahead, John.
Hi, Melinda.
Hi, John.
So my question is, I finally got an email back from B of A the other day saying they had everything they needed from me, and as soon as, you know, the additional money was put into the program, that they would submit to the SBA. Does that mean I already have a number assigned to my file?
No, so they have to enter your application into the SBA portal that is between, it's not a portal you guys could have access to, it's between the bank and the SBA. And they return a PLP number, and that means you're allocated. If you get to that point, and I don't know if banks are providing their customers with the number. We're not, because it's not going to mean anything to the client. We're just calling them saying you were allocated. So once they're allocated, then it's still, there's still things to do on the back end, like loan documentation, you have to sign. It has to go through underwriting for bank approval. And then the bank is supposed to fund within 10 days after approval. And we don't know if that means SBA approval or bank approval. So we're taking it as bank approval. And then disperse the funds. And when you disperse the funds, the 8 weeks following the disbursement date is the 8 weeks that will be used for calculating your forgiveness. So it's really important, if you get the loan, that you bring back your employees right away, because it's all about its name, the Paycheck Protection Program. It's all about restoring paychecks. So you need to be at 90% or better of your workforce as compared to, I think February 15th, 2020
Melinda, we were told that the lookout period for the repayment was May 1st to June 30th. So it's not necessarily that, it's when you receive the loan. Is that your understanding?
Oh, no, it's definitely, your 8 weeks starts after the money's been put in your hands. Yeah, and that you can find right on in the final guidance.
And I have another question. Thank you for that. But so you're saying,
you.
let's say that you have a loan like John has, and I've seen a lot of these, by the way, from B of A, where they are sending emails saying, yes, we have your application, it's in, but they're not giving a confirmation number. So are you advising us to request to go in and apply from other companies for this particular loan if they have not received one?
I'm saying that I've probably talked to hundreds of business owners over the last 2 weeks, and I don't know one that hasn't applied multiple times. And what I say to that is just make sure that when you get word that you've been allocated, meaning your funds have been earmarked with the SBA, okay, they've taken the money out of the pot and they're saving it for you attached to your EIN number. Then I lost my train of thought, sorry.
That you have that you have a confirmation number attached to your EIN before you stop applying.
So we haven't, and we're just learning this as we go too, but we're not providing customers with codes or anything. But maybe some of the big banks are with confirmation codes. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either. But if you are applying at multiple places, you just need to make sure you withdraw once you get allocated. So just make sure you get something in writing.
Patty, is Patty still here?
No.
Patty Hansen?
No.
No, she's not. Okay. All right. I had a question for Patty. So I guess we'll be here tomorrow morning at 7. Is it 7 a.m., Melinda? Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
7 a.m.
I can't make it tomorrow at 7, but you guys have a great discussion, and I'll try to find out what I can later.
Yeah, it's whoever wants to. I just want to make myself available for Q&A. So many questions.
There are.
You're going to be on too, right, Sarah?
I'm sorry, what, Mike?
You will be on also? Can you make
Yes.
it? Okay.
Is Patty going to be joining us?
I'll message her right now.
Okay.
I'll call her after this and make sure she does join us, because it's the power of the three of you. It really helps.
Yeah. Yeah, we all need to work together. It's, as Melinda said, it's just changing by the hour.
Yeah, and I think that there's, as we get through this and over, and all the PPP stuff is done, it's really going to be in Sarah's court, and it's going to become a tax thing, and she's going to be swamped because it's just going to be, well, how do we do this? There's a employee retention credit, isn't there, that you can get instead of the PPP loan?
You mean are we talking about what they're going to grant, or is this something different?
No, there is a employee retention credit for Employers Act, or credit. Yeah, employee retention credit that you can get instead of the PPP loan. So I don't know anything about it, but this is going to be, that needs to get out there if, that is the case.
Well,
because
I'll look into that. I've got so much information with this CARE Act. So I'll look into that, Melinda, and then maybe I'll have more information for you tomorrow.
Yeah. And if you need to know anything about the CARE Act stuff, I've combed it and stayed up. You can call me later, Sarah.
Perfect.
Melinda, John said thank you, and I'm gonna head out now. So nice seeing everybody. It was really
Have a great
great
day.
to
You
connect today,
too.
and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.
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 So you guys are all in Dennis. Hi, Tony.
Hi, how are you?
I think, you know, we have a lot of clients in the medical industry, and I think dentists are hit really bad because nobody wants anybody's fingers in their mouths right now.
No, generally speaking, no.
Well, everybody should be applying for these grants. If you need it, apply. If you don't need it, don't apply. Leave it for somebody else.
Melinda, are you taking applications for other, you know, for us, or how, you said that you've already got hundreds.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I have been, but you know, we've actually been on hold since last week, even before they ran out of money, because we had so many applications. And, you know, we want to be able to give this loan to each and every one of our customers. And so
Right.
far, we have been able to do that. If they applied, they're getting the loan. If we got into the SBA portal. So if you're a non-customer, it's not first come, first serve. You know, each bank has to figure out how they're going to, you know, prioritize these. And the way we look at it is, of course, we want to help our customers. And then if we have non-customers, how many employees do they have? How many paychecks are we going to help restore?
Right.
You know, is it in the healthcare arena, which is important? And I mean, everybody's paycheck is important, but we're just trying to do the right thing. And yeah, because the banks aren't making any money on this, and yeah, a little bit, but trust me, it doesn't offset the cost what they're paying. I mean, we're working like around the clock. I never worked this hard in my life. It's just unreal, and to a huge amount of responsibility, and every bank is just inundated. Think about it. Every business in America can apply for this loan, and then you're supposed to go to your bank. But then when your bank turns you away, what do? Because every other bank wants to help their existing clients. So if you're a non-customer, you're at the bottom of another bank's list. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how else they would have done this, but, you know,
Yeah.
It's a process. I mean, we just started funding on Monday for applications we took 2 weeks prior, because it just physically, you know, I mean, you only have so much capacity to get the work done before they shut the portal down. So anyway, we think it's going to run out really quick.
Melinda, can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
So listen, everybody says fill out applications, fill out applications. Okay, so I filled out applications, but the frustration part is nobody is getting back to me with an email. And sometimes I wonder if my application has been accepted. I have confirmation numbers that my application has been accepted, but I don't hear anything from anybody. And I know the system is backed up, and you know, but it's been 3 weeks now. I haven't heard a beat from anybody, so I just sit there and wait. Right? There's nothing else I can do.
Yeah, this is what I hear every day. It's just there's no communication from the banks as to, okay, we got you into SBA, or you know, you're at this step or that step.
Right. Yeah.
And then when you call, you're just going. There was probably 100 calls they got to return before you. It's just there's the capacity isn't there to service and respond.
So basically, you just fill out the application and pray to God that somebody's gonna call you back or email you, or even acknowledged me.
Yeah, so you're at a big bank, obviously, then.
Yeah, Wells Fargo, I think that's a big bank.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and
that's
I filled out unemployment. I filled out the EIDL, and I have a confirmation and application number here from EIDL. And but there's nothing. I haven't heard from anybody. It's been 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you're not the only one on the EIDL. I know one business out of all the ones I've talked to that just got their money from EIDL on Monday, and they applied right away. So they're supposed to have a decision to you within 2 to 3 weeks, but they're inundated too. So nobody knows, and you just can't. There's nobody to ask.
Yep, I know. So meanwhile, I just check my emails every couple hours and hoping something comes in. But so far, I guess we gotta keep doing what we're doing and, you know, see what happens. It's a terrible situation. I've never seen. Nobody's ever seen anything like this in their lifetime.
No. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna check out a Hotel California. You guys stay healthy and be good, and I'll try to come on the call tomorrow or next Thursday. God bless you all.
All right. Have a great day. I'm going to check out too. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.
Thanks, Giovanni.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Okie dokies.
Anybody have any more questions?
Just a lot of frustration with these, loans.
Oh, it's frustrating.
What I saw is I helped clients with that EIDL application. I went in and submitted for many clients, and I made a mistake by not putting in that they had employees. I was under the impression that they needed to be on W-2. And just that mistake alone cost them, that if they're self-employed, they could have received a $1,000 grant. And just because of that, they were notified by the Small Business Administration that this was for employees. So it's a shame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you know anybody that's gotten the EIDL funds yet?
I don't.
My daughter-in-law
Not
did.
the same that she does, but
My son was just telling me my daughter-in-law did. She owns 2 Pilates studios, and she got it for the one. He said she got a $10,000 check.
Okay, so because that changed too. At first, it was a $10,000. The EIDL came with an emergency advance of $10,000, and then they changed it to put a cap. They're basing it on employees, so it's $1,000 per employee. So you have 3 employees, you get $3,000 emergency advance. But the rest of it, so you might get an advance, but if they determined you needed 6 months worth of working capital and that was going to be $60,000, then they're giving you 10 of it, and then $50,000's a loan, and it's going to be 3.75, but it's a case-by-case basis. So the term can go up to 30 years, but it's just going to depend, and I don't know what it's going to depend on. So I don't know what they're basing it on.
I think they changed it, as you said,
I'm gonna go.
basing it on employees. If you have employees.
Yeah. It's frustrating, the whole thing, but I just don't know how else they would have done this. I don't know. Maybe a big tax credit, like, I don't know. But,
Well,
all right, anything?
I mean, we can talk about those things. I can help you with all that. Why don't we have a conversation later on today? Maybe this afternoon when you're finished working, give me a call and we can talk about all that, because that goes beyond, what we're talking about here. That deals with NOL and all that other stuff. So we could talk about that.
Okay. All right, guys, I got to get going. I'm blowing up here.
Okay. Thanks, Linda. And it's 7 a.m. tomorrow. Is that right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yes, that's already booked on the calendar.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
You bet. See you in the
Guys have a
morning.
good
My favorite time of the day.
All right, but me too. All right, bye, guys.
Bye. See you, Tony.
Bye.